Hey there, folks. I'm meteorologist Matt Barentine. Of course, we are still tracking Marco and Laura. Marco, of course, in the Gulf of Mexico, not too far away, and Laura out in the over around the island of Hispaniola, making its way across the Caribbean. All right, so first off, let's start with the alerts, what you need to know. We are under tropical storm watch in both Mobile and Baldwin County, as well as George County. There are tropical storm warnings for coastal Mississippi and hurricane warnings for southeast Louisiana as Marco comes on in. We also have a coastal flood advisory for all of our local coastal areas for a sea level rise of about 1 to 3 feet. Obviously, that's not a huge rise, so it won't cause major issues, but there are vulnerable areas like the west end of Dauphin Island, the causeway leading to Dauphin Island, the causeway across the bay. All those could see issues here from that kind of a rise. All right, this is something too. If you haven't checked in recently, we've got a brand new advisory, intermediate advisory at 11:30 for Marco. The hurricane hunters flew out into the storm, and guess what they found? That it had hurricane force winds. So now it got upgraded with a special advisory at 11:30 this morning. It is now officially Hurricane Marco. It is very well developed. It's found a window of opportunity today to get itself developed. Here's that hurricane flight. As they are flying around, you can see how they zigzag back and forth to get a good grid across the storm, and they found that wind speed of above hurricane strength. There's a look at the satellite image of the storm. Very well pronounced. It's gotten itself together very well here today. Looking at the conditions out ahead of it, it's got, like I said, this little window of opportunity, and that window is actually expanded a little bit, so I'm going to keep an eye on things. It's possible we could see a little further development before it runs into some of this wind shear, but eventually that will tear it apart or weaken it a little bit or keep it right at about the same strength right before it makes landfall, and you'll see that here in the forecast track. So here it is as a Level 1 storm, a Category 1 storm through Monday morning. Then right before landfall, you can see the hurricane center actually has it weakening a little bit. So that's what we expect here with Marco, somewhere in southeast Louisiana. Obviously, it's going to be close enough to us, and the right side of a storm is always the stronger side of the storm, that we will see impacts. I would expect upper in tropical storm type impacts around Dauphin Island, Fort Morgan Peninsula, and in Bayou La Batterie. Back into looking at Laura. This is winds of 50 miles an hour, a much bigger storm than Marco. It's much broader, and that should be the case through much of its lifespan. As it goes across Cuba, it'll do that through the day tomorrow. It'll come off of Cuba late tomorrow night. As it does so, when it comes off of Cuba into the Gulf of Mexico, it will be a weak system. But that will change rapidly because the Gulf of Mexico at that point here on Tuesday, as it's crossing the Gulf, will have perfect conditions for tropical development. Basically, the upper levels will be absolutely fantastic for tropical development. So this thing will ramp up quickly from a weak tropical storm to likely at least a Category 2 hurricane with winds of 100 miles per hour. It's good. The only good news here is that it's moving very fast. If it had more time out there over the open waters of the Gulf, this thing would grow even more. So we're still, as it is, looking at a very strong storm. Right now, most of the models are starting to kind of edge it back to the west, so we're looking at maybe more of a Texas/Louisiana landfall. But if it makes its way anywhere to the eastern side of this cone, we will still get some significant impacts from Laura because it is a bigger, broader storm than Marco. Futurecast, we're going to see a number of showers around today, off and on throughout the day. Today won't be the biggest rain day. There'll be off and on showers throughout the day. Now, as we go through tonight, the rain will pick up, and certainly tomorrow morning, if you got to head off to work, likely could run into a lot of rain as these rain bands, these squally line and rain bands, move on in with Marco. So a lot happening, obviously. Here on Fox 10, we'll be breaking in and letting you know at top and bottom of each hour all of the latest with these two storms, Marco and Laura. I'm meteorologist Matt Barentine. We'll catch you throughout the day.